On this episode of Star Trek Universe, we are talking about Lower Decks, Crisis Point 2, Paradoxus. Right after these words from our mystery sponsors.
Welcome to Star Trek Universe, the podcast where you get to listen in as two lifelong friends do what they've been doing since they were 6 years old, talk about Star Trek. My name's Matthew Carroll.
I am David C. Robertson.
David.
Yes.
Caesar Robertson.
What?
Just coming up with a fake middle name for you.
Is this like foreshadowing to you stabbing me in the back? Et tu, Mate?
It's foreshadowing of your transporter clone dying of asphyxiation. Okay, can I say, I guess we're getting into this episode.
Sure, why not?
We watched this Lower Decks episode. It's the Crisis Point 2. As soon as he came back sad, I knew that he thought his transporter clone was dead. I don't know why, but as soon as he walked in sad, that's immediately what I went to. I've been wanting them to bring that plot line back, and he looked sad. I was like, okay, something tragic happened. The only family I know of for him is his transporter clone. I bet his transporter clone died. And then they showed up. Sure enough, that was what he thought anyway. Yeah.
I thought he was about to be reassigned. I thought that's what it was.
Yeah. I don't know why it just popped into my head as soon as he walked back sad.
I mean, hey man, when you call it, you call it.
Yeah.
Good job.
Of course, there's no proof. Can't prove it.
Right. You can't prove it.
There's no receipts, man.
No receipts.
It's not like, see, that's the thing. I hate when a great like little nugget of call like that happens, but it's within the episode, and then I go to podcast and I'm like, I promise I called it.
Yeah, no one believes you.
Right. Yeah, no, of course not.
No one.
Why would they? Why should they?
I know.
I'm a liar.
We've got it on tape now, you son of a... No.
I've been trying to get you nailed down on that one for years.
And even now, like if I played it, went back and tracked all those people, whoever the hell I was trying to convince, and they'd be like, he was clearly joking.
Yeah. It's the game I play, man. Always half in, half out of irony.
You say that jokingly, but I know it's the truth.
Okay, so what'd you think? What'd you think of Crisis Point 2, Romulan Boogaloo?
I was a little worried going in because I felt like, we just had Peanut Hampers episode. Now we're going to have this fake movie thing. That's going to be delightful. I'll enjoy it, but I really wanted to get into the characters and get back to like a story. And they gave that to me. Mm-hmm. And they used it just like they used the other one to expound on the characters, and I really dug it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I loved a lot of the randomness of the episode, like the little mystic guy screaming, "We're all a simulation." I loved the one that was like the koala sees all, or whatever the hell it was. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, I love the meta nature of the one going like, we're all just creations we're all just holograms in a simulation, because it was true. It's like just really, really wonderful.
Yeah. Well, everybody says that is true.
Well, though I know, but in this case, it's just, we know it's true of that guy.
Yeah.
Like he is a hologram. I love it.
Well, we all are.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's been proven.
No, it has not.
Elon Musk said it, so it's true.
Yeah, so dude, I got really annoyed with freaking Neil deGrasse Tyson came on with that take, and he like said the same thing or whatever. Like he stated the proof, and the proof is BS. Like at least the way he stated it. And I made a response TikTok that was like, Neil deGrasse Tyson, you're wrong. No one listens to me. He has a much bigger audience.
No.
But I'm right. He's complete logical fallacy on that one.
Yeah, I did see a lot of people getting mad that they're like, oh, great. So Neil deGrasse Tyson is an asshole like Elon Musk. And I'm like, no, just because he has the same idea,
right,
doesn't mean that he's an asshole like Elon Musk. Like, those are two different things.
Yeah.
I mean, you could both say, like, hey, the sky is blue. Ah, great. He's one of those guys. No.
So I loved all of that stuff. I loved the reveal of the Kitty was Kitty Hawk.
Yes.
Because
great
it's just
V'ger callback.
Yeah, V'ger callback, but then him being like, it doesn't make any sense. The big reveal makes no sense. I just love that he like wrote a story and then followed the side characters until they like presented him with a story that was terrible. And he just kept digging deeper into the terrible story.
Yep. Well, I mean, I think that at that point, he was actually like going by the movie that he had written. But that's what it seemed like.
No.
Well, like once he beat the hell out of the Romulan sisters or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, no. Kitty Hawk. The Kitty Hawk thing happened when he was inside the god that he found at Kitty Hawk, which was all part of the side mission.
Gotcha. Yeah, for some reason I thought that was, I don't know. I just watched it, man. I'm half asleep.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Then after the Kitty Hawk thing, that's when he like, this made no sense. And then he went and just he went and helped out with the Romulan thing.
Right, you're right.
Oh, yeah. Just good. I just love the, like, I don't know, AI generated, like, poorly done storyline that is being created all around. There's a lot of that going around now with all the AI generated art and all the stuff that could be, AI generated, and how can stories be, how can movies be, how can all this stuff. And it's just like, it's just funny to see in the distant future, it's still so bad. Like, it's just really, really poorly done.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
I've seen some very convincing AI art, by the way.
Oh, there's some amazing stuff out there.
Yeah. So, whatever. As an artist, everyone's always talking about, oh, we're going to lose our job. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same, like, you're talking to someone whose job has been like eradicated 200 years ago. With the player, since the player piano happened, there's really been no need for live musicians anymore.
Right.
And now, like, I'm literally replaced by the iPod, but people still like the personal touch of a musician. And there will always be room for people caring about the artistic expression of human beings. Yeah. It's just a matter of, it really is, it sucks, because it's like, it sucks, but it's also always the way. There was a little bit of time in the 90s where music was actually like a commodity. You could create it and sell it and like make money that way. And of course, only the record companies made money, but like still you could make money by selling music, like selling physical copies of music. But anything before that and anything after that, musicians are always at the whim of their patrons. That's just what it is. It's like all about that. And I think like all art is kind of that way. Yeah.
I'm wondering, like, whatever, like, are there still monks laboriously handwriting scripture?
I'm sure there are.
Like, you think?
Yeah.
You think they were sitting around going, I hear tale of a printing press?
Oh no, I think they're probably still doing it as part of their like their religious rites or whatever. But I don't think they're probably doing it intentionally because they think it's the only way to copy the word. Right. There are those at some points in religious history that believed it was the only way to copy the word. Like the Bible was only to be copied through the way they did it back in back in the ancient times. And I'm sure there are still people who do it that way and go, this is still the only true word, but whatever.
But like, before the printing press, that was the only way anything got published, and it was always religious texts and whatnot because control. Anyway, tangent. Sorry.
No, I'm with you. Fully with you. So this episode of the show, the other plot line was a lot of fun. We got, first let me go back to where I really liked in the whole, Kitty Ha storyline. I liked how much more emotionally mature Boimler and Mariner's relationship is.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like a previous season Mariner would have heard about it and then just tried to cheer him up.
Yeah.
Or something like, look, your story is great. See, ha ha ha. And like, but she just says like, I heard about William. And like, there's just like a touching thing there of like a friend reaching out to a friend and being like, hey man, I heard about this and I'm so sorry. I know you've got to be hurt and that's got to be weird. What do you want to talk about it? Or like, what is it's just, her understanding what he needs to do in this weird offshoot storyline, but also, just attacking their problem directly because they have that kind of relationship after this feels really earned, honestly. And it really does feel like it's in a different place than it was 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that was solid.
Yeah.
And I loved, Tindy and her, like, I was a little like, where is this going? But then like her realization that like the reason she's so upset is because she doesn't think Rutherford would respect her as a captain. And that's what she wants. And, you know, I like these realizations from these characters. Like it at least gives some promise that they're not going to just be lower deckers for the rest of time.
No, yeah, I think they're not going to. I think they're moving on up eventually. But what that mean? I mean, like Tindy already is on this track toward you know, chief medical officer or whatever, or bridge crew, something like that. Yeah, and now I think she has like a, you know, a hankering for the command. And I dig it. I dig it. I think she could be great. I think this show has become, it feels, and I may be wrong, it feels like the show is becoming much more early on. It felt like it was all Mariner and Boimler's show a little bit, and and Tindy and Rutherford weren't as well flushed out. But I feel like in this season especially, it feels like a very much like a four-hander. Like they all have like episodes that focus on them, and they all have plot lines that are pushing forward, and I just dig it.
Yeah,
I think it's becoming a really good ensemble show.
Yeah. I have a question for you. Do you think the William Boimler Section 31 is going to line up with the conspiracy plot going on about Rutherford?
Ooh, interesting. I don't know. I definitely got Section 31 vibes from the Rutherford stuff, so it's possible.
Yeah.
That's a good it's a good thought. It's a good thought. It is interesting. We've got these two major conspiratorial things going on. I kind of want it to, because that would tidy up some things, but also like I feel like they're leaving a lot of threads dangling that could continue to be a thing next season. Like I'd be very cool with just hearing more about what Section 31's doing in this time period, and like, you know, what it looks like to become a new member of Section 31, all that. I'd love like a whole couple episodes from his perspective. I mean, I want to see that version of Boimler and what's going on, you know?
Yeah, I already love that. I mean, I think that there's a possibility that he is not actually, like, I think we're going to go through all of the, what does that say about me if he's evil and in Section 31 type of thing, but from our Boimler. But I'm wondering if William is not, if this is a fake out and William is actually just infiltrating like Bashir did, Section 31 to get to some deeper meat, you know?
Possible.
And maybe I suspect, because it's a little too much, I feel like, to like fully merge the Boimler 31 with the conspiracy with Rutherford. But if Boimler like William infiltrates Section 31 and then says, oh shit, I remember Rutherford and look at what they did to him. I've got to get this to them.
Yeah.
And I can see then they find out through that. Yeah.
I can see that. I don't know if that's where they're going, but it's absolutely a possibility. I'm really curious. The way that the Boimler does like an evil laugh at the end, and it's like, okay, are they going for William is just going to be a really dark version of Boimler, which I think that's what it looks like right now.
Yeah.
Or is it something different? Are we going to like find out? I could kind of see like us, like you're saying, if he's infiltrating or if he finds out something about Rutherford that triggers him to like get unvexed from the Section 31 or whatever. I could totally see like a thing where he's just like comes back and he's just like, he's just Boimler. He's their friend, and he's back, and he wants to help. Like he's like, hey guys, I need your help. Like there's no one I could totally see like a plot line where he's evil Boimler basically, but I could also see a plot line where he finds out something he needs to tell someone he trusts, and literally the only person he knows inside and out is the other Boimler.
Right, right.
That could be a lot of fun.
And like I could feel like it would be really fun. And I assume they'll wrap this up by the end of this season. We've got 2 episodes left, so I guess we'll get more soon.
Oh, really? See, I thought this being just kind of a post-credits almost. Like, I thought it was just probably going to be a thing they're waiting for next season or whatever.
Just the finale coming up,
maybe.
But I could totally see him being like, dude, I infiltrated Section 31, but, the whole... he's like, but it's really hard to keep maintaining this evil facade. And like, they're all like, dude, this is a clandestine organization. You don't have to keep maniacally laughing. What's happening? Like, I just really like this idea of him. They're like, it's not the mirror universe.
Yeah.
Like, and he's just like, because that does seem like a really like overacting, like spastic thing that Boimler would do.
For sure. Yeah, I could totally see that.
And for some reason, it's important to me that like the successes of William Boimler are entirely capable by Brad. And hopefully there's like, he's evil now. Is that in me? And then like realizing, oh no, he was a good guy and he infiltrated. How is he so good at all this? Oh, it's because I am.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that notion. And I feel like that's where we're heading with Boimler anyway, with him like slowly gaining confidence. Like he's gained confidence with the bold Boimler movement of this season, and it feels natural to me with the bold Boimler stuff to cap it and end the season out with seeing where boldness gets you with William Boimler, and maybe thinking that's the bad thing, but then realizing, oh shit, no, I've got all the same qualities, and I can be just as daring, just as successful in my career.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's going to think of Boimler as a jerk who's like taking all these opportunities that he could have, but eventually, whatever happens between them, if they have an interaction where they can, make peace with each other or whatever, like if they can interact well or whatever. I think it could be like, oh wait, no, maybe he's just an inspiration. Like he wasn't the jerk. He wasn't the evil guy. Yeah. He's just someone I could be like. I like that. I like that take. I loved the Tindy and Rutherford like back and forth, culminating in Rutherford like playfully, slowly, deactivating the bomb.
That looks like the Romulan bomb from Nemesis.
Yes, it did. I thought it was going to do the same thing. I thought it was going to do the Nemesis, like, whatever, acid rain bomb. I thought I was going to do that, which would have been nice. And
I was so aggravated because they were, like, there at the birth of the Federation, and Archer is down there. And I'm like, dude, Mike McMahon just said he was trying to figure out a way to get Enterprise cameos in.
Yeah. Well, dude, I feel like we've buried the lead. I feel really embarrassed, honestly, that we've talked for almost 20 minutes and we haven't mentioned return of George Takei as Sulu, like that's huge. Like we haven't had that since what? 6? Star Trek 6?
No, it was the Voyager flashback episode. Unless you count the fan series.
Sure. But still,
he showed up again.
In proper canon, George Takei coming back as Sulu. I think that's very cool.
It is cool.
And it was a nice moment for him and Boimler.
Mm-hmm. Now the horsey bites.
So that was wonderful. I keep looking for, you remember that interview question we heard? I think it was the actress who plays Mariner talking about Boimler and how there's a joke this season about Boimler's heritage that made them think differently about Boimler forever. Do you remember that?
I do remember something like that.
Yeah, it was just this quote from that actress. And we kept
Tawny Newsome.
Yeah, we kept talking about different possibilities. We had a bunch of theories of like what that could be. And I keep every time I see something, and one of the theories was that he was a Kirk. Like maybe we find out his like Kirk on his mom's side or something like that, right? His mom's maiden name was Kirk. And then when he like got into that dream sequence and he walked up to a stable and it said Kirk on the side, I was like, were we right? And no, we weren't. But I just like, I keep looking, almost every episode, I keep looking for the answer of what that line is that's going to like reveal something about his heritage.
Yeah. Well, okay. First of all, I love the fake out that he saw Kirk's mailbox and then it was Sulu, and it was really fun that it was because Shatner and Takei have this feud that's been going on for years.
Well, they also went to the third moon of Shatnaria. Did you notice that?
Yeah. Yes, I did. I also noticed and loved the main planet they brought up. First of all, the Tatashore 9 was named after the guy that Fred Tatashore, who does Shax's voice.
Oh, and fun!
About a third of every other voice acting job in the animation. So yeah, I really loved that, but I loved, Takei or Sulu being like, oh yeah, I took the place over. He's off time traveling or something. I don't know. The man never relaxes, It's true. I really adored the George Takei-ness of it all.
Yeah, it was great. It was really, really great.
Yeah, like it would be interesting if they somehow made him a Kirk in some way, like if he was like a descendant of Peter Kirk, Kirk's, nephew, the last of the Kirks, some kind of weird bullshit like that.
Yeah, it could be anything. I just, I just keep thinking about that line as we go through the seasons, waiting for that joke to land, and I'm like, still nothing. We're like, almost all the way through the season now? 2 episodes?
I mean, all we have is that his hair isn't naturally purple.
Yeah.
And he's very worried that they're going to find out his hair is some other color.
Weird.
It's so weird.
It's such a weird character quirk.
Speaking of weird, quickly read my saggy skin.
Oh yeah. Dude, this show has gotten between that character and Rick and Peanut Hamper episode, this show has gotten more and more Rick and Morty these last 2 episodes. It just felt the Kitty like AI generated like logic trees and shit. That felt so Rick and Morty. That's straight out of the mind of Dan Harmon or whatever it felt like.
Yeah, it felt like so was Knick Knack to some degree.
Yes,
like
Knick Knack, absolutely. I
love you. I'm in love with you.
Ooh, third act Knick Knack reveal.
I love that he busted him out of the brig like Scotty did in Star Trek V.
Yeah.
Where he just like blew up. I loved all the Star Trek references, of course. I loved it was basically the lab from Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan. They even did the like the CGI, the bad CGI computer panel showing the like Star Trek 2.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. It was
so good.
It was a lot of fun. It was really the Romulan triplets clearly making fun of Beta and Lursa, the Klingon sisters from Generations.
Oh yeah.
And TNG really, but
I believe at least one episode of DS9 too.
Maybe DS9. I remember them from TNG and Generations.
I think they had one like weird crossover night where they were on TNG and then on DS9 like immediately after.
Yeah. I'm like, oh god, the Duras cleavage. There it is.
The Duras cleavage. I mean sisters. Well,
like the Romulan sisters all had like massive cleavage, so.
Yeah, it was definitely a reference.
Yeah. I feel like this is an episode I want to go back and rewatch soon. I loved the line where they're like, "Don't tell me we have to go back and assassinate Kennedy," because that is not happening. That is a reference to like Gene Roddenberry wanting to go back and kill Kennedy in the movies, like,
or to save Kennedy. You mean?
Well, yeah.
Or did he want to kill him?
I think he wanted to save him, but I think it's a reference to him wanting to go back to Kennedy like over and over again. They're like, no,
we're not doing that.
I loved the 80s punks. The one with the boombox. The one with
the boombox is a reference to that 80s punk with the boombox.
Or every 80s punk in any of those movies. Like, I feel like it was also a reference to Terminator, you know?
Yeah, but I feel like it was pretty, I don't know. I guess just because, especially because they just brought that actor back in Picard to play the punk again. I was like, that's that punk, I bet. Maybe
so. I don't know. Like, what else you got, man?
I got nothing, man. I think that's about it. It's fun episode. Good character development, good jokes.
The dude that loves Ransom.
He
leaned against the warp core and they wheel him in and he's like, twice in one day?
Not again. Twice in one day. What a dummy. I love it. I love that joke so much.
Yeah, I love it too. And I love that like all of his, he's got all of his best friends and like none of them are that guy. Like, remember he showed the picture of his best friends, like Matt the Whale.
I just love that they have he has these 3 best friends or 4 best friends or whatever, and we've never seen any of them. I thought that was really fun.
Well, we've seen Honus the bartender. There's Nurse Westlake and Matt the Whale. And yeah, we've definitely seen Matt the Whale. But Stevens wasn't in there. And that's hilarious to me.
Yeah, that is really funny.
But yeah, so I really enjoyed all the references to the movies. I love the Star Trek V God reveal.
There's always a catch with these gods.
Yep. We got an email from Stu Little.
Oh, sweet.
Do you want to get into that?
Yeah, man. Read it to us.
Or just say, screw you, Stu.
Screw Stu. Just kidding.
No,
never. Unless he asks real nice. What?
I'm open. Stu says, what an upgrade. Hey, a couple of trailer related thoughts. This is from our NYCC coverage.
Yeah.
Discovery seems eventful, but not a lot of detail on plot. I just hope that we can get a villain again, please. Someone nasty to fight, not someone misunderstood to reason with. And no burn/DMA type plot either. Well, you didn't like that Orion lady taking over the ship there, Stu? She was a nasty villain.
Stu
says, Prodigy Season 2. I mean, mid-season return looks fun and expansive to what came before in Season 1. I mean, the first half of the season. Really, it's been 8 months. Might as well be a new season. I am relieved that when Dals asked, you know where I come from, the response was, not where, but who, instead of not where, but when, because of 2 of the fudging main characters on this show had been tied up in some time travel stuff. Lower Decks. This was a major make good for last week to me. Crisis points are 2 for 2 for being good character building stories that are also fun and crazy commentary on Star Trek as a franchise and something I'd like to continue seeing, albeit at a similar pace so far of one another of every other season. God. Lots of great stuff all around, managing to balance the 2 different plot strands really well and a number of individual things to enjoy, like Rutherford's irreverence to it was very entertaining. Whoa, those graphics are mind-blowing. Kelvin timeline jokes. Yeah. Oh my God, the Kelvin timeline joke.
That was really great.
That was so good.
Us being played by younger actors, that seems scientifically dubious or whatever.
Yeah, like even for science fiction, that's a bit of a stretch. Naming the main planet in the story after Fred Tatasciore, also the 3rd moon of Shadanari. Yes, good job. We got that too. Yeah, Doc, you really want to avoid using that many made-up words in a row. I'm going to follow this old man's skin map and I'm going to find some answers. Time travel stories would be more palatable in Trek if they focused on Federation history rather than Earth history. Give me a story that shows us pre-logic Vulcan when all the population were amped up hotheads. As someone who's noted there's never been any on-screen Australian characters in Star Trek before, let alone Starfleet officers, the Holodeck Sydney segment brings us one step closer. Rest in peace, William Boimler, unless his death was faked as a cover story so he could join Section 31. Ha! I literally wrote that as I was watching the episode and didn't know it would be the case later. Odds are this dovetails with the Rutherford mystery too, because it feels redundant to have two conspiracies happening within Starfleet at once as plots.
Nicely. Nice. You guys are you Stu? Are you Stu,
no,
Dave?
No, I wish.
I wish. Just anyone but me, really.
No. Well, he's the mediator now, so he wouldn't have agreed with you last week if it was me. I'm not going to give you a win. Unless that's used for humor with the two factions butting heads. One downside is it pretty much dashes my hopes that Jack Quaid is going to cameo in Picard Season 3 as part of the Titan crew. I also don't think the reveal cheapens the Bradward Boimler plot at all. His emotions were still very real, and Mariner supporting him was good to see. I would like to point out, though, that he called William an exact copy of himself, despite the original plotline stating that neither was the original Boimler. Flub, character thing, or just a simple figure of speech? I think the original thing was kind of a Star Trek bullshit thing. Like, neither are the original Boimler.
Well, I think that's just, I think I would say the third thing he said, which is just it's a figure of speech. I mean, he is an exact copy of him, but so is he an exact copy of him.
If they've ever been through a transporter, they're an exact copy of the original, so.
Well, now we're getting into the philosophy of transporters, and you know how I feel about that.
I don't.
I mean, transporters are a death machine.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Just it's just a death machine.
Absolutely, man.
It's not even really my take, it's just the truth.
No, Ship of Theseus, man. The loving piss take of Star Trek V, including Nick Nack doing the Scotty Kool-Aid Man entrance out of nowhere. Kool-Aid Man. The Romulan commander's what reaction before the bomb exploded. Takei, wonderful surprise, and the second time I've enjoyed him voice acting a mentorly figure, even if the other example being a Yakuza hitman turned boss was a very different sort of father figure. Though amusingly, Fred Tatasciore was also part of that video game, voicing the father of Takei's character. I'd say small world, but Tatasciore is in everything voice acting wise. He really is. It's funny McMahon. Here we go. It's funny McMahon was just talking at NYCC about wanting to have Enterprise cameos, only for the very next episode to feature the perfect opportunity with the founding of the Federation time period and not capitalize. Maybe it was money. Time or availability, and twice in one day. He says, honestly, this was a good enough episode that I actually thought for a second it was the season finale, and that would have been fine, but it set a high bar for the real finale 2 weeks from now. Thank you, Stu.
Yeah, all good thoughts.
Gosh, all good thoughts. Many of them mine. So that's fun.
Pre-read. Dave pre-read.
I did not. I brought it up and said, all right, I'll look at that when we read. I don't like pre-reading.
Yeah, I'm with you. I generally don't either. Every once in a while I regret it because I'll read something on the screen and I'm like, we should have cut this one, or we should. Yeah. But and of course we could edit it out, but I've already done the work of reading it.
Yeah.
And talking.
That's why a lot of times when I'm reading Stu's email, I sound like I read like a fifth grader. Where I'm like,
mm-hmm.
God, I should have skimmed this.
Well, thank you, Stu. Thank you for the feedback, bud. Yeah, we'll be back, guys, soon. We're gonna go ahead and get off of here. We got 2 more weeks of Lower Decks, and then something else coming.
Prodigy.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
End of October is Prodigy.
Gonna be a lot of fun. All right, we'll be back, guys. Jolan True.
Live long and prosper.
Thank you for listening to the Star Trek Universe Podcast, a Stranded Panda production. If you'd like to hear more from David C. Robertson, check out the DC On Screen podcast or maladjusted.tv for his web videos. If you'd like to hear more from Matthew Carroll, check out the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast or listen to his music. Just search for Matthew Carroll anywhere you get music.